Hi everyone. Now this time let's look at King's Gambit. It's not very common nowadays, so perhaps only one video is enough to cover it. Of course you could use a lifetime to studying it, but let's just cover some basics. I'm gonna look at the accepted variation because that's so much more common than the declined. Here Black has a couple of options. G5 is most common, just protecting the f4 pawn and annoyingly getting ready to push to G4. But also possible is D6, getting ready to get the light squared bishop out, and D5 also. And let's not forget about bishop E7 with the idea of coming to H4, which could be even risky for Black, with White castling short and having his own attacking chances with bishop C4. And there are also other options which are not so common, like knight f6 or knight c6. But let's look at G5 now. Here White usually plays H4, just striking at that G5 pawn. He can also play just bishop C4, or simply D4, but that's not very common or even very successful for White. So we should consider H4 and bishop C4 as the main moves. Here Black pushes forward, White goes to E5. Now Black again has a few options. As we see, there is no real main line in King's Gambit. You can go many different ways. Knight f6 is one option, and also d6, just hitting the knight, which seems to have even better results than knight f6. But knight f6 is more popular, so let's look at that. Now White again has several chances, well, two really common ones, which are d4 and bishop c4, striking at f7. For some reason d4 is more popular, striking at the f4 pawn by Black. e4 is unprotected, but maybe Black can't afford to take it. There must be some kind of tactical refutation. I don't have my engine on right now, so you can check it if you want. Or maybe some strategic reason, like Black would lag in development or something. Now d6, knight d3, and now Black feels brave enough to take this pawn. and white takes the f4 pawn. This is a very complicated position, but I feel that this is still quite common. Bishop g7, c3, castles, knight d2, rook e8, knight takes e, rook takes e, bishop e2. Let's see a few more moves, just for fun. Now, here it gets more dispersed, so, but it's a very strange position. It's mostly won by black, but there's not many examples. I mean, this is one way it could go in the Queen's Gambit accepted. I guess this is why many grandmasters nowadays don't play the King's Gambit, because it's quite risky for white, unless you know it really well, unless you know how to maybe deviate from this main line that seems to be a little bit better for black. So if you know several different variations that you can surprise your opponent with, then I suggest you play the King's Gambit. But if you haven't really studied it, then it's quite risky, I would say, nowadays with the knowledge of today. But anyway, to own your tactical skills, it could be a nice choice. I definitely am going to use King's Gambit a lot more, just to see the different possibilities.